I'm going to do something we typically never do during a live shot. I'm hoping my photographer can make this a little bit wider because I want to bring her in, because if it was not for her watching, this man would not be alive. Sue, come on out here. I want you to explain. Again, we were here on another story. She happened to be watching and we saw, okay, there's someone here. Maybe we can talk to him about this story. You were watching and then all of a sudden the car went in. Please just explain what you saw from the side mirror.
So I actually thought he was backing into the spot to watch the sunrise because it was behind us. And then he went to make a U-turn. So I'm like, okay, he's leaving. And he just drove right into the water.
I'm Caroline Flynn, and for the past 4 years, I have had the privilege of serving as the lead breaking news reporter for News 12 Long Island. During that time, I've had the opportunity to report on some of the most impactful local stories and biggest national headlines. But I'm ready for my next challenge, and I want to show you why. You can rent shoes. You can even borrow a ball once again. Bowlers here today are saying the biggest difference for them is you can't bowl in every lane. He met with his staff daily to try and come up with plans for the ever-changing guidelines. This is what he did for that one about social distancing. My first day on air was the first day that coronavirus was found in my area. For many mornings after that, until testing kits like these were readily available, I was in parking lots just like this one that were converted into testing sites, fielding questions from concerned neighbors while at the same time trying to protect myself and my family. Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone wanted to urge residents not to panic despite the number of coronavirus cases in Suffolk County continuing to rise. What a moment that was. It was just before 9:30. The first person to get the coronavirus vaccine from Pfizer got it. It was a nurse from Long Island Jewish right behind me. The disappearance of Gabby Petito captured the attention of the nation. It felt like everyone was looking for her. I was here on day one when her parents began to sound the alarm bells and spoke exclusively with her distraught stepfather. The family filed a missing persons report with Suffolk Police on Saturday. They want you to share her photo and the Facebook page dedicated to finding her. They are hopeful doing that will bring answers.
You see stories like this all the time, and you feel terrible for these families, and you never think it's going to be you.
Thanks, Aaron. I do want to get to some new information first. We promised we'd bring it to you just the moment we had it. We're hearing reports right now that Moab police in Utah, well, up until now, this is a period of time that we really haven't known much about in terms of Brian Laundrie's movements. Brian Laundrie's sister, Cassie, is once again speaking out. She spoke yesterday for about 20 minutes with protesters outside of the Florida home where she lives. And then there was the rookie politician that made a name for himself for all the wrong reasons. This is the area that George Santos represents. Now, of course, the big question is how come some of these allegations weren't brought to light earlier? And one person we turned to was the person who was his opponent back in November on the ballot. Santos's Twitter account has been suspended. Those we spoke to attending them said they were really trying to pay no attention to the latest round in the Santos saga as they observed an incredibly important day in their faith. We have been out here all morning since very early. We were waiting for him to, of course, go in the main entrance to the courthouse behind me here, the federal courthouse here in Central Islip. This looks like any other camp, right? You've got sports, go, 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 go! Special chants and cheers, arts and crafts, yet Camp Good Morning is anything but ordinary.
I lost my mom.
A free overnight retreat for Long Island kids processing a significant loss. 10-year-old Sydney Chris just lost her mother to breast cancer.
It was definitely tough.
It still is.
It's a mom, like girls can't do the same stuff with their dad because they're two definitely different people.
Paul Rubin says he founded the nonprofit out of necessity.
I just thought, why isn't there anything like this on Long Island?
Rubin had previously traveled for years to other states, participating in other bereavement camps as a grief counselor.
So what I've done is I've looked at what worked, what didn't, and just improved upon that, and that's how we came up with Camp Good Morning.
Campers participate in support groups with others their age and camp counselors, many of whom have been in the campers' shoes.
My dad had passed away very suddenly when I was 10.
Emily Price is a camp counselor and a social worker. She helps give activities like arts and crafts a greater purpose.
Unfortunately, a lot of the kids don't have, a cemetery to go to or ashes in their home. So the camp is providing the kids with rocks to kind of decorate for their loved one. So they can, whenever they want, they can always come to the camp and come visit, their rock.
Campers return home with healthy coping skills and hopefully the phone numbers of fellow campers. As an only child, that's most important to Sydney.
Like when me and my dad used to get in fights, I would go straight to my mom, but now I have no one else to go to.
Mission accomplished, and then some, as Sydney and her friends are planning playdates and a return to Camp Good Morning spring session.
It's nice to be around other kids that get you.
In Santa Mauritius, I'm Caroline Flynn for News 12 Long Island.